Hello, good morning to one and all. I am G. Ahalyarani, working as Assistant Professor in B.V. Raju Institute of Technology. And today I am here to present constraints topic in the subject named as Database Management System. These constraints play a very vital role in both academics, placements, and almost all advanced technological subjects like big data analytics and ML. So everywhere we are going to use database, and this topic is going to play very, very vital role. Now, without wasting our time, let us start off quickly. So what are constraints? Constraints are nothing but conditions that are imposed onto our database schema or onto our database table when the table is getting created. And today we are also going to see how are they enforced. That means how are they put into action whenever you are trying to insert values, whenever you are trying to update values, whenever you are trying to delete values. The first constraint today we are going to start is domain constraint. Constraint means condition, that is clear. Now what is domain? Domain constraints are nothing but whenever you are creating the table, like here I have created the table student with 3 fields, SID, SName, age, and I want these fields like SID name int, SName character. So these int and characters are data types with their sizes. These are called as domains. The usage of these data types is it allows the user to enter the legal or permitted values underneath that particular field name. So here for student ID, I have taken as integer, and for name, I have taken as character of 4. Now, first case, I am trying to insert into student 999 values 11 RAM. 11 is integer type. There is no issue. RAM is character data type. So when I try to insert this, and when I have executed select star from that particular table, which is used to retrieve the values that you have stored or entered into the table. So I got back those values. So if you observe here carefully, I have got underneath of student ID 11 and SName RAM, which means both my values have been inserted properly. Now I again try to insert another row with values U6 as student ID and RAM as student name. But here I got error. Why? Because I have given student type ID type as integer, but here I have entered character data type. So it's an invalid number. So domain constraints are very, very important. They allow legitimate values or legal values to be entered underneath that particular fields. Now moving on to our second constraint, it's nothing but unique constraint. So as the name says and everybody knows, unique is nothing but single. So whenever user wants to have the values only uniquely, any particular field values to be unique, in that case they can use unique constraint. Unique constraint does not allow duplication of that particular field which you have declared as unique. So once again I created one table wherein now first field SID with data type int, and I have taken this as unique. So no two student IDs are going to be same. Then SName with character data type and age as integer. So after that, once I got the table has been created successfully. Now first case I try to insert into student 88 values. So I am trying to insert one row with values 12, Radha and 17. And when I try to retrieve back the values using select statement, select star from student 88. So I got SID as 12, SName as Radha, age as 17. In every of my examples I quoted here, first case I have taken as a positive reply, and the violations will be explained in the following. So kindly note that point. Now once again, as I told you, now I try to insert student 88 values. Once again another row, insert into student 88 values 12, Sham 80. If you observe carefully, the 12 has been duplicated and my constraint is unique. So should it allow? No, right? So we will check it. So when I executed select star from student, select star from student 88. So now what I have supposed to get, it should not allow me unique values for student ID. So I got unique constraint violated. And the reason is I declared student ID int and unique. Now let us move to third constraint. So the third constraint is null and not null constraint. So again, whenever I try to insert the values, sometimes there might be a condition that I might knowingly or unknowingly, I may not enter the value. But need and necessity of the application is mandatorily in that particular field, the value has to be entered. In that case, I will specify exclusively next to that field not null. Then the user is not supposed to enter the null values or empty space values. Now let us check this, how we are going to declare this and how we are going to see whether it's violated or not. Now once again, I created table student 888 with two fields, first field SID and second field as age. And if you observe carefully, SID has been given as data type int and not null. That means mandatorily whenever the student is entering field values underneath student ID, mandatorily user is supposed to enter the values. Suppose if student not entered the values, let us see. And the next field is age int. Here I haven't declared anything. That means I can here enter null values also. Now my case 1 is insert into student 888 only underneath age values 17. That means I haven't entered anything underneath student ID. So when I executed the statement select star from student 888, I have inserted only age which can be null or not null, but I haven't inserted anything in the first field, that is SID. I have just left it as empty, which means null. Then immediately it is saying, when I execute this statement, cannot insert null into Scott ST888 SID. Why it's saying so? Because I have declared this field as not null. Next, let us now try whether I can do the same with age field. So now again I try to insert into student 888 values 12. So now for SID I have entered, but for age I didn't enter anything. Now when I executed select star from student 888, I have seen that underneath SID 12 value is there, underneath age nothing is there. So in your application requirement, if you want to specify mandatorily that field value must be entered by the user, then declare that field as not null. Now let us move on to next very important constraint of why we are going to have this session. One of the most important constraint, primary key constraint. Everybody knows key is nothing but a field or set of fields that uniquely identify a particular entity in an entity set or a particular row, or which distinguishes one student from another student. For example, if I take over here student with 3 columns, student ID, S, name, age. Let us assume 11, 12, 13. Let us assume names as Radha, Radha and Raghu. If you observe carefully, in this particular example, if I am taking age, there are 2 students are having the same age, so it cannot uniquely distinguish. If I have considered student name, again I had Radha duplicated, so I can't take this as key. So now if I observe student ID, here each and every field value is unique. So a primary key is a key which uniquely identifies a particular student from another student. And this primary key is selected by database administrator. Such a key is selected whose value never changes or rarely changes. And most oftenly, we are going to use this primary key as indexing when we had large number of records. If you consider in our real life example, we will consider Aadhaar, which will rarely change. And if we consider, as we are considering students, and this topic is permissible to students, if I consider students, it's student ID. So whenever your results are getting displayed, you'll just give your student ID and submit, and then you are going to. The reason why we are going to select primary key as the means is it uniquely identifies. And that key, since it is selecting a particular entity in the entity set, that should never be unique. It should always be unique, and it should never be null. So two things we have to remember when primary key constraints. So first one is it should be unique, because based on this solely you are going to select or distinguish one from another. And second, most important, it should never be null. It should never be null. Now let us see violations of this. So I have created table student 89 SID with data type int, and I have declared that particular student ID SID as primary key and age as integer. So I have considered here student ID and age, out of which student ID is primary key. Now I have tried to insert into student 89 SID age values 11, 18. So I have taken here student ID and I have taken here age. And as SID, I have taken here 11, and underneath age, I have taken as 18. And when I want to retrieve those values, I will give select statement. So select star from student 89, and I observe that values have been inserted successfully in my table named as student 89. Now case 2. So here, once again, I try to insert another row. Insert into student 89. Values 11, 17. So now I try to insert 11, 17. So what is the flaw in this? Should it allow or should it not allow? It should not allow, because I told you primary key should always be unique. So it says unique constraint violated. So now you got the justification. Primary key should always be unique. Now next case, once again, I try to insert another row with age value as 17, and I have entered null value underneath student ID. As again, the definition says the primary key can never be null. So it says cannot insert null into SID column. Why? Because SID field has been declared as primary key. So primary key is a key which uniquely identifies or distinguishes a particular row or tuple from others, and such a key is selected whose value never changes or rarely changes. It is most often selected by database designer or database administrator. And whenever primary key is declared, it should follow two conditions. First condition, it should always be unique, and second condition, it can never be null. Now, next one, general constraints. So, underneath this, we can discuss several things because the name says it is general. But let us stick to one or two examples. So, once again, I created a table student 19 with two fields SID integer and age integer. And here, I have used the condition. I have defined one constraint called as check. The major purpose of this check constraint is this Check constraint allows that the condition, whatever you have specified with this particular keyword check next to it, should never be violated. Now here, as an example, I am going to take check age greater than 18. So what is the condition I want? I want to see that, let us assume that these are the persons I want who are eligible to vote or not. Or a particular movie is there, let's say that movie has a limitation that age number only greater than 18 are permitted to watch the movie. So in that cases, we are going to use check condition. So now, first, as I told you, I will try to insert normal values and then. So I have created once again one table, named that as student 19 with two fields, SID and age. And this I have put the condition, check whether whenever the user is entering values, check whether that particular age is greater than 18, then only allow. So in the first case, insert into student 19 values 11, 19. So now check the condition, 19 is greater than 18. Should it allow? Yes, absolutely. So once when I have inserted and when I want to see the result or when I want to retrieve those values that you try to insert it into the table, I'll use select star from student 19 and immediately it has given me student SID 11 with age value as 19. Now, once again, I try to insert another one more row and this time I am trying to insert into student 19 values 11, 16. So, 11, 16. What about now the age? 16 is less than 18. Is it supporting or violating? Violating. So, immediately I am going to get the result as check constraint violated. Now, another one more important and last but not least of the constraints today we are going to discuss is foreign key constraint. So, what is a foreign key? Just I'll give you one or two lines definition and then we will move on quickly too. So, I have created two tables. The first table is Department 89, the main table with two fields and again foreign table Employee 89 with foreign key department number referencing Department 89. Department 89, Employee 89. And Department 89 has D number and D name. And Employee 89 has fields EID, E-name and D number. So, this is a foreign key which references to the primary key of main table. Primary key of main table. So, EID is primary. So, this is the part we have seen so far. I have created two tables, Department 89 which is the main table and Employee 89 which is the foreign table. And each table has its own primary keys and Employee table has foreign key referencing to D number of Department 89. Now, I try to insert Department 89 values 10 cells. And again I try to insert 20 analyst. And into Employee 89, I try to insert values 44, RAM, 10. So, we have defined foreign key. So, see here foreign key D number references Department 89 D number. So, the declaration part is perfect. Now, I am enforcing this. That means I am checking whether foreign key violations happen or not. Now, what are the foreign key violations? As I told you, this particular key field has to be present in the main table. So, when I try to insert 44 RAM 10, the Department 10 is present in the main table. So, simply when I want to see that whether my values have been inserted into employee 89, I have just given the statement select star from employee 89. And I have seen that 44 RAM 10 has been inserted into my table. Now, I try to insert another one more row into employee 89. 45, Raghu 30. Now, my dear students, just let me know whether this 30 can be allowed or not. Now, if you observe carefully in the main table, 30 department is not available. So, will it allow here? No, right? So, that means foreign key violation. So, integrity constraint violated, parent key not found. So, in this way, we can check whether there are violations happening or not. Now, so once again, as a quick look, we will now distinguish when only single table is present and when more than one table is present. So, in the first case, when only single table or main table or parent table is present, on insertions and updations, we will see separately, and on deletions, we will see separately. So, once again, I have created one table. So, the table named as student 89 and with two fields SID and age. Now, I try to insert the values 11, 18 into this particular student table. And when I try to retrieve those values, select star from student 89, I have seen that both the values have been inserted properly, 11 and 18. Now, I will consider another insertion. So, now I try to insert another row with values 11, 17. So, when I try to insert, I have declared this field student ID as primary key. So, what is that violated? Uniqueness is violated. So, it simply says unique constraint violated. So, once again, I try to insert into student 89, age 17, and this field I have given it as null. Once again, this is violation of primary key. So, when single table is present, we can have violations on domains, we can have violations on insertions, especially if that field has been declared as primary key. We have to, when we declare that particular field as primary key, we can simply check whether the primary key violations are there or not. Primary key defines two things, unique and not null. Now, second example also completed. Now, let us see on one example of updation. So, update student 89, age is equal to 19, where SID is equal to 11. No problem. It has been updated successfully. Now, on deletions. So, now only one table is present. So, first I have checked what are the values that are present. So, initially I have 11, 12, 18, 19. Now, when I try to delete from student 89, where SID is equal to 12, I am trying to delete this. Now, once again, I have checked select star from student 89 and I have seen that this 12 has been deleted. This is the case where only single table is present. There can be primary key violations, but there is no problem as far as deletions are concerned. Again, with updations also, there can be primary key violations. Now, when both parent table and child table or foreign table are present. So, once again, I consider here the two tables. First, main table with department 89 and so we are back, okay? So we are going to see when there are more than one tables are present. Now I am considering here two tables, department 89 as main table and employee 89 as foreign table. So after creating these tables, now I am trying to insert. So first I have to insert main table values. So I try to insert two values. So insert into department 89, insert into department 89 values 10 comma sales. So I have tried and entered 10 cells. Similarly, I also tried to create another one more row using the same insertion statement with 20 comma analyst. So now there are two departments, name them as 10 and 20. And in the main table, I tried to insert employee 89 values 44 RAM 10. 44 RAM 10. This 10 is already existing, so there is no violation. Now insert into employee 89 values 45 Raghu 30. When I try to insert this value, I have seen that it is getting integrity constraint violated. Why? Because 30 department is not existing in my parent table. And now I try to insert into department 89 values 40 analyst. And once again, I try to insert into student 89 values 17. So, whenever I try to enter, when there are more than two tables are present, I have seen that there will be violations on insertions and updations, not only on primary key but also foreign key violations. So we will continue the same example. Parent table and child table are present. So I have created department, and in that department I had the fields 10, 20, 40 with sales analyst, and again another one more also I have inserted in my previous analyst. Now I have created employee table wherein only one row is present, 44 RAM and 10. So when I try to delete or perform deletions onto main table, so what is my main table? Department 89. So I have tried to delete from department 89 where D number is equal to 10. So I tried to delete, D number is equal to 10. What's happening? When I try to delete, D number is equal to 10. Here, if I observe my table's creation, so in my employee table, I have just declared EID as primary key, ename as character, D number as integer, and foreign key D number references department 89 D number. So if I don't mention anything, by default, 4 set of actions are generally required while you are performing deletions or updations onto your foreign table or onto your main table. What are those 4 set of actions? First one, on delete or the first case is on delete or update, no action. What does this mean, no action? Whenever any foreign table or child table is referencing to main table, if I do not specify anything during my table creation, it means no action. What does no action means? Whenever child table is referencing to main table, you are not supposed to delete that value. You are not supposed to take any action onto the main table whenever any child tables are referring to that main table. So here one child table is referencing and that department number is 10. So now when I try to delete, so delete from department 89 where D number is equal to 10. So I try to delete this, but 10 is referenced by some other child table. Will it allow? According to my constraint no action, it should not allow. So it will say whenever I have executed this statement, it gives me back integrity constraint violated. Now I will try if any child table value is not referencing, then in that case can I delete or can I perform deletion? See, check out, delete from department 89 where D number is equal to 40. If you observe carefully, employee table have only one record 10 referencing. There is no 40. Simply it says, now if you check over here, it's simply deleted 10, 20 sales analyst. Everybody is clear? On delete or update, no action. What does the statement mean, Nana? Whenever any child table is referencing to main table, do not perform any actions on deletion. That means do not delete that particular record. So second, now on delete or update cascade. Same example I'll consider, same tables. So I have created department 89 with two fields, D number, D name, and I have inserted two values, 10 sales with 20 analyst. And also I have created one foreign table, employee 89 with EID, integer, primary key, employee name, character, D number, integer, foreign key, references, department 89. This already we have seen. And if you observe carefully, the one highlighted in green color, on delete cascade. So this is my second action. And explicitly, I have to specify on delete cascade. If by default, if I haven't specified anything, it means on delete or update, no action. Now, once again, I have selected and retrieved the values that are right now present. So in my department, two records are existing with one is 10 sales, 20 analyst, and in my employee table, only one record is existing, 44. Now, here, when I try to delete from department 89, where D number is equal to 10. If you observe carefully, this 10 is referenced in the by the child table. So when this 10 is referenced, what does cascade means? Yes, you can delete me means here main table, but whatever child table field values are referring to me, delete parallelly from that also. So you can delete all the values from the main table, but simultaneously all the child table values are automatically removed. That is the meaning of cascade. So if you remove one, all the child tables that are referencing to it also are simultaneously removed. So now delete from department 89 where D number is equal to 10. So I got one row deleted. So automatically in my main table, I have seen that deletion. Now let us check whether that row has been deleted or not. So first give it as select star from department 89. So if I observe carefully, previously I had 10 and 20. Now I had only 20 analyst. Now check out select star from employee 89. I have seen no rows selected. What does that mean, Nana? It means that cascading. But whenever child table is referencing to it, if you delete it in the main table, automatically in the child tables also are deleted. We had another two more actions. Again, on delete or, give me 1 second. On delete or update set default. What does this mean? Yes, you can delete any record in the main table, but the corresponding child table referring field values underneath that particular field name has to be replaced with default value that you have declared during table creation. For example, if I have created that D number default as some 99, once you remove the 10, here it is replaced with default value 99. The last but not least, the action, fourth action is on delete or update set null. Here, whenever I try to remove or delete or update the value in the main table, their corresponding child table values of that particular record referencing is replaced with null. But whenever you are replacing that with null, remember that particular field should never be the primary key of the foreign table. Sometimes you can have the same field as primary key and foreign key. Why primary key? Because we have already seen primary key can never be null. So these are the 4 set of actions. And this is our today's session. Hope everybody has understood the concepts very clearly and have enjoyed. So overall, we have seen constraints topic. Thank you, one and all.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.